Hi, I'm Aaron and you're watching Camper King Guides. In the next few videos we're going to show you how different elements of your campervan work. So sit back, relax and enjoy.
Hi, my name's Simon from Camper King and today we're going to show you how to change your wheel. First off, what we'd like to do is try and ensure that the vehicle is on a flat level surface and have your vehicle in park, in gear and with the handbrake on. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the vehicle and get the jack. This should be located in your double seat or under your single passenger seat. Should be in a red bag like so. And we'll empty out the contents and show you what's in there. So, contents of your jack bag, there'll be a few small tools for helping you remove wheel bolt covers. There's a little screwdriver that's in there, a wrench and a towing eye cover and the jack itself. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to pop on some gloves, if you have them, to keep our hands clean. Then we can go over to the vehicle and we'll start removing the covers for the wheel bolts. So first off, we'll remove the covers from the wheel bolts themselves. You will notice that we should find a locking wheel nut key, which is just located there, and we'll retrieve the key itself from the jack bag. So we're going to get the locking wheel nut, pop that into place and start to just loosen off the wheel bolts by half turn. Next off, we're going to go to the rear of the vehicle and loosen off the spare wheel carrier. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the bolts from the spare wheel carrier. One of the bolts will stay in place as it allows you to slide the carrier over to drop the wheel down. So let's go loosen those off. Anti-clockwise to release the bolts, and this will start to drop the wheel carrier down. Be careful of hands being in the way in case the carrier does decide to drop. With one of the bolts removed on the driver's side, we can now lower the spare wheel cradle, which will allow us to remove the spare wheel itself. What you might need to do, depending on how flat the wheel is move the one bolt back in slightly to allow you to remove the spare wheel itself. And now what we'll do is pop this round to the side of the van where the flat is and just put it underneath the vehicle whilst we're jacking it. With the spare wheel removed, we're now just going to pop it underneath the vehicle when the vehicle's high enough, just to act as a bit of support should anything happen. So what we're going to do is release the jack. Underneath the vehicle there'll be a cutout in the under trays which allow you to pop the jack onto a support brace underneath. And then we can raise the vehicle. With the jack now in place, what we can do is start to raise it, and when we get to an appropriate height we can pop the spare wheel just underneath the sill should the vehicle drop for any reason. With the jack now raised, what we can do is ensure that there is clearance underneath the tyre so that we can start to remove the wheel bolts and pop the spare wheel on. Now that the vehicle is raised, we can start to remove the wheel bolts to pop the spare wheel on. As you may remember, we previously loosened these so it'll make it easier to take the bolts out. One thing to add, if you do have aftermarket wheels, you may need to use different wheel bolts to secure the spare to the van. Lastly, we're going to remove the lock and wheel nut now. Removing it last just makes it easier to take the final bolt out. What you might have to do is give the wheel a slight tap, so just make sure that everything is away from the vehicle, just in case anything does happen. That's it, one wheel removed. What we can now do is take the spare out and pop this into place at the back of the vehicle. What you can do is just use one hand, just hold it in place so that you can line up the bolts. Tighten these by hand first. So what we're going to do is just nip these up now slightly whilst the van is still in the air. Because we've got the parking brake on, this just allows the wheel to stay in its place and allows us to tighten the bolts. What we're then going to do is just lower the jack down just so the tyre is touching the floor, and then we'll tighten the wheel bolts up again as tight as we can. Now that the tyre is just touching the floor but still supported by the jack, we can just nip the wheel bolts up as tight as we can. Now that they're tight, we can fully remove the jack. Now with the jack removed, what we can do once again is just check the wheel bolts for tightness. And that is how you change a wheel. What we're going to do now is pop the spare back underneath the vehicle, and that is everything complete.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below. And for more useful videos on how to get the most out of your camper van, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.